For our last panel of the day, I'm going to bring in Valeria Finol. Valeria is our web development manager. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everyone. So yes, my name is Valeria Finol. I'm the web development manager here at Abogados Now. And I've been here for the past 3 years, managing everything internally and for our clients, for our websites.
Amazing. So today we're going to be talking about landing pages, why they fail, what needs to be different. This might be a little bit technical at times. And again, no worries. We're going to be sending you this deck so you can review these on your own time after. But the first thing that we want to talk about is websites versus landing pages. Clients are often like, oh, Andrea, can I see my websites? And I'm like, okay, wait, what? So what's the difference, Valeria?
Yes, so this is very important, the difference between a website and a landing page. So we'll see that websites are more educational. They let the user explore. They have many pages and more information. So I want to share my screen just to show you an example of a website.
All right. Do you have access? Yes, you do. Cool. Proof.
Great. So here we have a website. You'll see that it has a lot of pages. It has about, practice areas, evaluate your case, results, testimonials, and in the homepage itself, it will have a lot of more information, videos, about section, frequently asked questions. You have a lot of information. So going back to the landing page, it's kind of it's going to be just only one page because the intention is to get one action. That action is to get the user to contact you. So if you have a lot of information there, the user gets distracted. So now I'm showing you landing page from the same client. Okay. So here we have a landing page from the same client that we show you the website. You'll see that it's more clean in terms of design. There's not that much information. You have specific sections, and that is for you to get the user to call you. There's like a lot of call to actions and bullets. It's just it helps you scan more quickly. And that's what Hispanic users do. They won't look at the page from top to bottom.
I think it's important to think about intention and our purpose. So what is the intention of your website? Most of the time, it's to build presence, it's to build authority, it's to be informative. Your website is there so clients know that you know what you're talking about, so they can find information that they need. So they get to know you better, get to trust you. So it's quite different. The landing page, on the other hand, has a different purpose. We have a question, Mary, that actually you're very close. The landing page is not the same as the homepage because the landing page exists in a separate area. Usually, in our case, we put that in a subdomain because you don't want people to be distracted. On your homepage, there are many things you can click. As Valeria showed you, you can click on case types. You can click on get to know the attorney's bio. You can click on frequently asked questions. You can click on many things that will move you away. A landing page will not take you anywhere. A landing page allows you to call or to fill a form. So it goes back to the intention that we're saying, right, Valeria? The website, meet me, get to know me, trust me. The landing page, call me.
Yes, right. Yes, you can get more information. You can answer more questions in a website. But a landing page is for the user to call you and to get you leads.
So we have specific now talking about the landing page, moving on from the website difference. There are 7 things that Valeria tells me are the conversion killers. These are the things that kill a landing page. So talk to me.
Yes, so here are the 7 conversion killers. These are the reasons we see landing pages underperform. So we'll dive into each of these and we'll see how fixing each one of these directly can get you more cases. It will get you more calls.
Yeah.
This.
I just want to make it clear for anyone watching, we are not talking about landing pages because they are fun and amazing. We're talking about landing pages because landing pages bring clients. They also might be fun and amazing, but this is our conversion. Is a landing page part of the website or a separate site? Francisco, usually it is a separate site. So most marketers have different ways to do it. We like to use it as a subdomain. So normally it's something like hola period yourmainwebsite.com or like ayuda period mainwebsite.com. The goal again is that they cannot go anywhere, that they don't have all these distracting options and the only option is to call. So you use a landing page for advertising your website. It's what's always out there. So let's talk a little bit about speed and mobile, Valeria.
Great. So here we have speed and mobile. And speed is, let's say, the most invisible killer. So if your landing page is low, the user won't even see your message. Nothing will matter about your page, not your reviews, not your copy, not your design. And this is very important for Hispanic users because they're very mobile heavy, more than the general population. So they'll have more cellular connections. So the thing is, if you have a lot of images, if you have videos or scripts, a lot of information in that page, it will be slow. So it will be like kind of a lost click because they'll get there, and if it doesn't load in 3 to 5 seconds, they'll just go. They won't see anything there.
Yeah, I think the last metrics that we look like where something like 98% of the Hispanic population makes important decisions and choices mobile. This is why it's so fundamental. Anytime we build a website for anyone, it's mobile first. You can check the speed of your website on Google PageSpeed Insights, which is what Valeria has here. And you need to be working on these regularly because it becomes slow with time. So it's a ongoing process. So let's talk a little bit about a structure. What is the structure of a landing page that converts?
Yes. So a landing page, the structure is going to tell you what you see first, what's more important, what to do next. So let's say the ideal flow or the elements for a landing page are a hero section. Then you need to have trust signals like reviews, case results, and years of experience, those kind of trust elements. You need to have a section that is for your practice areas, but something short. And you need to have a why choose a section, repeated call to actions in throughout the page. And also you need to have a form. So I want to say that it's not only the elements you need to have there, but the structure in terms of how much information you have there. You can have big paragraphs. You need bullet points, direct information that answers what the user is looking for. And not only that, but clear spacing, the contrast, the colors, your call to actions need to stand out.
Yeah, I recently went into a website for an attorney that I was auditing, and I could not read anything. All the text was like stuck together. I'm kind of blind also, so I was just like, what does it even mean? When
Yes.
you talk about the structure, you mentioned the hero. I want to talk a little bit about what the hero is because this is kind of not a concept that everyone understands. So I'm not talking Superman. I'm not talking Batman. The hero is this section of the website.
Yes, for sure. I think when you hear hero, you're like, what is that? So that is like the first thing you see, the first section of the page. And this is super important because the hero needs to answer one question for the user. Can you help me with my problem? And it needs to have your call to action and your phone number, but it also needs to tell you who is it for? Who is this page for? What problem do you solve and what to do next? For example, here we have a very specific hero. It has this tagline that says you had an accident in Idaho, so it's very specific in the location. We can help you get the compensation you deserve. That will be what problem we solve. And then we have call to actions. I want you to contact me, or I want a free evaluation. So that will be what to do next. So you're telling everything to the user and they don't have to scroll. Like everything is there, first thing you see.
I want to mention that these call to action buttons are clickable, and on the mobile version, at least advice from us, we fix them. So as you scroll on the mobile version, that is always there, so the person can always contact you without having to scroll back and down. This brings you to the authority and trust situation. This was mentioned by Ali during both her Google and her Meta sections because it's connected a lot. with what the AI is looking for now. So what is it, Valeria? Authority and trust.
Yes. So for Hispanics, trust comes before action. Like they could need your help, but they're not going to call you if they don't trust you. So it's important to have these elements like real attorney photos, case results, reviews, trust badges, years of experience. It's social proof. It's very important. It increases engagement, trust. This leads to them to call you. And I want to mention something a bit more technical here, but Ali also talked about yesterday, and it is the schema markup. This is very important. Landing page should have it because this is going to help Google show up these elements, these trust elements in the search results.
So again, it's technical, so it's not something you'll see there. The schema markup is the computer language that you need to add so the AI can more easily read it. So just make sure that you have it. Next, we also have localization. Also mentioned in all the paid advertising. I think you're starting to get how fundamental this is.
Yes, for sure. So localization is not just translating your website or your information from English to Spanish. No, you need to have local language, local reference, local images. So for example, let's say you are in Las Vegas and the user is in Las Vegas and they're looking for an attorney, but they see a stock image from New York. That's going to create distance. Also, if you have language that feels robotic in Spanish or is not grammatically correct, they're not going to trust this. So a generic page feels risky, and with localization, it's going to feel safe. It's the user is going to think this is for people like me. They're going to help me here in this city.
Yeah, so localization is basically a technical term to making sure that things are localized. I think I know it sounds a little bit evident, but sometimes it's missed. I think one time I saw a landing page for a client that was in Montana and it had palm trees all over the landing page. So, I mean, a little confusing. Also, it's not just the language, it's the dialect. If you do any Hispanic advertising, you probably know that Dominicans don't sound the same as Mexicans or Venezuelans, like Valeria and I. So you also want to make sure that you localize the language of your landing page and your website to the biggest demographic that you're trying to reach. So more technically, forms.
Right. So forms are not only for collecting data. Forms are part of the conversion process. So if you see generic forms like only asking for your name, your phone, your email, a message, it's going to feel also not trustworthy. So high intent forms usually ask you more specific questions like where did it happen, when, what's the problem you're facing. And this is going to help you get better leads, better quality, because sometimes, you can get spam because the questions are not as specific. And also, this is going to protect the time of your intake team because they won't waste time looking at someone that is not as interested or just bots sending messages and messages.
Yeah, and the bot situation, the spam situation, we see it everywhere. Websites get it as well. So this is super fundamental for that. We have a question where someone is asking us, what platform do we use for landing pages? We've used many in the past. I think we used to use Unbounce, but currently we're doing Leadpages. It has proven to be the one that converts the best for what we're trying to do. You can Google them. I'm not sponsoring anything. Those are just the two ones that we've used in the past. Alrighty, so let's talk about attribution and automation. What is that?
Yes, so this will be the final conversion killer, that is the post-conversion flow. So a landing page doesn't get you a case. Leads don't become cases automatically, but your follow-up system will help you get that case. So that's where attribution and automation comes. Attribution is what's going to tell you where did the lead come from, what's working, and this helps you improve your ads performance, everything. And automation makes the experience for the user feel instant and professional. So I'm going to walk you through, let's say, the flow it should have. So first we have the user that clicks on your ad, then it takes them to the landing page, then they call you or they fill out a form, it goes to your CRM. And one powerful thing that you can do with automation is once someone fills out a form, you can send them instantly a text message saying, thanks for contacting us. You can call us at this number. And if it's urgent, they're going to call you. Another important thing that we've mentioned before also is call tracking. It's important to have a specific number for this landing page because this will help you know what's working, as I mentioned, with attribution. And then after that, we have your lead becomes a case if all of this is working as it should.
Yeah, one of the things that clients mention sometimes is that forms can be hard to reach. That's part of the reason why we have an automated message after a form is completed that is like, hey, thank you for reaching us. Why don't you call us? That helps a lot. People have been asking our call tracking metrics during the past few days. Well, not specific call tracking metrics, but call tracking numbers. This is why. For example, we like to do A/B tests with landing pages. So, two different versions of a landing page to see which one brings client conversions higher. How do you know that if you're not tracking who is calling from where? So if we had two, they will have two different numbers so we can track that. This is a flow. It's not as complicated as it looks like. It's just add to landing page, call to action, form, or call to CRM. In this example is monday.com, but you can also use Google Sheets. There are like many things that you can use. And this is part of the information that was mentioned in previous panels that you have to feed both Google and Meta and any other media channel that you're using with. So fundamental. I want to wrap up what the next steps are that you should be asking your IT team, your web development team, or your marketer.
Yes. So now that we've seen these 7 conversion killers, the next step will be go to your landing page if you already have one and look at it. Look for those conversion killers we mentioned. Look how if they accomplish what we talked about, and ask yourself, if I were looking for an attorney, will I trust this? Will I click this? If the answer is no, then your page is leaking money.
Yep. I think someone mentioned, I don't know if their question went through, which companies did you name for landing pages? We mentioned Leadpages, Unbounce, and I think our head of paid media just told me that we also use Lovable. So these are the 3 main ones that we work with right now. Try them out. We like some better for certain things. Valeria, how many questions in forms do you think are too many?
I think you can use, I mean, you don't have to have a lot of questions. Maybe if your case is very specific, like for medical negligence, then you can have a question like, which hospital, where did it happen? But I think maybe if you shouldn't have like 5 questions because I think that will be too much, and maybe the user won't feel all of that.
Yeah, back in the day, and this goes back again to the spam and the AI issue. Back in the day, we would just have like name, last name, email, phone number, and like a very brief case detail situation. So they will just tell you what's going on. Now, because we do want to make things slightly more difficult to avoid the bots, I will suggest to add 2 or more 3 questions. One way to do this without overwhelming the potential client is with drop-down forms. So you can be like, is this a case of, and then you have, let's say, personal injury or workers' compensation or employment? Yes, no, and it's conditional. So if it's yes, you can ask for more information. If it's no, it's like, oh, thank you, we don't do this right now. So never more than 5. 5 is already too many, especially if they are like open-ended, I guess that's what you would call it. Do you recommend having a separate landing page for each practice area? Yes. Yes, Luis. Basically,
Yeah.
when we run campaigns of multiple practice areas, each thing has its own landing page. We might have multiples for each practice area, but we do not combine them. You are trying to get authority. This is probably a dumb question, but do I need a different domain or can I use a sub-page as a landing page? Valeria.
So I think you could use a sub page as a landing page. It's not it's not needed a different domain. So any of the options work.
It is not a dumb question at all, Mary. You can use a subdomain. That's what we like to do. So right now you can see that we have Summit at Abogados Now. So you can do something like that. That way you don't have to buy a separate domain. It already lives there and it helps with authority and trust. Can bots select from the Dropdown? We get so many spams and people trying to sell off stuff. Valeria, what do we do when people start getting a lot of spam on the forms?
So we usually you can automate. You can use tools like ChatGPT and create, let's say, this system that is going to read your lead, and it's going to with certain conditions, it's going to say this is spam, this is not spam. So that's an option. And there are also sometimes plugins that we sometimes use on websites that can also prevent spam too.
Yeah, so you can work with either of those things. With ChatGPT, you can be super specific and be like, discard any lead that has no vocals and a bunch of consonants together that make no sense. Okay, we have some questions left over and we'll be answering later on. But thank you so much, Valeria. I hope that everyone got valuable information out of this to make their landing pages higher conversion. I'm bringing Hugo back for Q&As.
Valeria, great work. And yeah, you built countless landing pages and websites for us. So I don't think there's anyone more qualified to tell us how to build these converting pages. So thank you so much. So we'll see Valeria in a little bit. And right now we're just gonna get right into final remarks. That was the last segment of the 2026